All right, let's open this thing up. What's the first step of writing a new script?
Copying a working script from someone else that already did it.
That often is actually a pretty good idea. But for us, since we are starting from scratch, our best place to start is by thinking and thinking out loud. And since you've watched me do all of the thinking in these videos over and over and over, my turn to turn the tables on you. I'm going to ask you to help me do the thinking. So, Nate, you're going to have to tell me what to write.
All right, well, let's think about this. First thing is we got a button, and when the button is pressed, we got to launch an event handler for that button, right?
Okay, you said something about we need to write the button event handler.
So yeah, we got
All right.
When the button is pressed,
Okay.
that's our first thinking.
All right.
And then we think to ourselves, we got to start a timer, which means we got to create a timer first. So probably the first thing is to create a timer.
Okay, hold on.
Right.
Hold on. We're doing this. All right, write the button event handler. When the button is true, we need to, you said start
a timer.
Start timer. But that then led you to the idea of that we probably need to create timer.
Because we messed that up last time, right? Where we created a timer after we needed it. So top of your code is going to have the timer.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
All right, I agree.
Okay, so then that's all that happens when the button goes true. When the button goes false, when button is false.
Yep, when button is false.
Then we need to evaluate whether or not enough time has elapsed.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So the only way to do that would be that when the timer does elapse, we would need to do something that notes that it has elapsed. We would need to remember that in some capacity, right? We need a big flag that says I'm finished, and we look at the flag and say, is the flag up or is the flag not up?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna make a flag. So if time is elapsed, i.e. If flag is true versus if flag is false. All right, I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so when the button is false, then we're gonna look at the flag to see if the flag is true, if the flag is false.
Right, which means that when we create the timer, we gotta define that when the timer finishes, it makes the flag go high.
Oh, what does it mean for the timer to finish?
It dings. It
dings, yes?
Dings, yeah. It's event handler.
It's the event handler. You're getting there. See how this works? Right? We are literally just thinking this thing out. All right. So we are also going to write the timer's event handler. And inside of the timer's event handler will be, right, when the timer event handler goes off, it means that the timer went ding, which means set the flag high, right? And if you are from my part of the world, you may remember that there was this restaurant called Pancho's, and you would raise the flag, and they would bring you more delicious tacos.
That sounds like Casa Bonita too, for sopapillas.
Oh, well, I love those. Oh. That sounds good.
All right. Jeff, I thought of something else. When the flag goes high, there's something else that has to happen.
Okay. We
also then have to stop the timer.
All right.
Or else it's going to run again.
All right. So say that again. Where do we want to put that?
In the timer's event handler.
Yep.
After the flag goes high, we got to stop the timer.
Yep. Stop the timer because we don't need it to go off again.
Right.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. What else?
We probably needed to make, since we didn't create a control that represents this flag, we're going to make a global variable that represents the flag.
At some point, we are going to create flag.
And that would have to be before the timer, since the timer references the variable. So now, once again, the very top of our script, we got to create a global variable, right?
Could be. We're still thinking. Okay. So we're going to create timers. We're going to create a flag. We're going to write the timer event handler inside of it. We are going to stop the timer, and we're going to raise the flag. I agree. All right. Inside of the buttons event handler.
Okay. So I think that handles everything about the flag. Not quite, because we also when the button is released, we need to also stop the timers. Right?
When button is false, meaning when it's released. Yep, we're going to stop the timer.
Because we don't want it to elapse a moment after we release the button. And
Correct.
If we get a false flag.
That would. False flags are no good. Yeah, you don't want that. Okay?
Okay, so now we're in the actual, what are we actually doing with the cameras section?
Yeah.
When the flag is true, we're going to do one thing. When the flag is false, we're doing another thing.
Yep, if the flag is true, what we want.
If the flag is true, then that means that we held it down for a long time, and that means we're saving something.
Yes.
So we're taking the coordinates from the camera, and we're shoving them into the box, into our storage box.
Yep, we're going to write the PTZ to memory.
Sure, yes.
Okay? And then alternatively, if the flag is false, we're going to do what?
We're going to take that means it's a short press, which means we're trying to recall something. So we're taking the PTZ from the memory.
You got it.
Take PTZ from memory.
Yep. And remember, we haven't written any syntax yet. We are literally just thinking this thing out, and then we'll get to it. Okay?
And we take that and we send that to the camera.
Yeah. Well, you said we're going to send it to the camera. How are we going to send it to the camera?
We're via named components.
So when do we need to set up named components?
We probably got to do that at the top too.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Up here at the top. All right. Up here at the top. Set up the named component. Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Now what we haven't done is we haven't done the match LEDs.
Yeah. We'll save that. We'll come back to that. Let's just make the button work first.
This seems like it's enough.
Yeah. This is. I mean, it is. It's 19 lines of us thinking. All right. Because I told you that it was only 30 lines of actual code. Right? These 19 don't count, right? These 19s are us just thinking about it.
What if I just fill in more thinking and then that gets us to 30 and then we're done?
Well, then it won't work because all we've written are comments so far. Nate, do you want to write these event handlers? We got 3 buttons. You want to write this 3 times?
Oh, I absolutely don't. No way do I want to do that. Does that mean we're making like an array?
We already made an array of buttons,
we
right?
did because we have that
counts.
bank of controls. That's right.
Yep, when we did the count,
so that means that we're making a for loop.
You got it.
And it's going to run that 3 times for each of the 3. But we're not going to do it. We're not going to iterate it 3 times. We're going to do it for however many items are in the bank of control array time. That way it's scalable for if they chose to add 4 or 5 or 6 or 1,000 buttons.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
You really are getting there. Okay, so let's keep score for a moment. We need to set up the name component because that's going to be our communication methodology. We need to already be thinking about us doing this inside of a loop. So for every preset button in an array, we are going to want to do something. We're going to want to create a timer. We're going to want to create a flag. We're going to want to write the timers event handler where when the timer goes off, we raise the flag and then we stop the timer. We're also going to write the button's event handler so that when the button is true, we start the timer, right? That's the start of the game. And when we let go of the button, it means it's time to keep score, right? If the flag is high, well, first of all, when you let go of the button, immediately stop the timer so that we are ready to keep score. Okay, so then we keep score. We look at the flag. If the flag is high, we're going to write the PTZ to memory. If the flag is low, we are going to read the PTZ from memory. I agree. I think we're there.
So question for you, do we need to create, if we're putting the creation of the timer and the flag inside of the loop, then we're creating 3 timers and 3 flags. Do we need that? Is someone really pressing 3 buttons at once on this UCI, or could we do it with just 1? Does it matter? Since it's inside of a loop, doesn't it matter?
Nate, you're not wrong. But I like the pure simplicity of every button having their own timer and flag. Because it's all just going to work out. Because we already have an array of controls. we're going to sprinkle in an array of timers and an array of flags. And that means, yeah, effectively we're going to create 3, but we're only ever going to write that once because it's all going to be within the context of the loop. So I think we're actually ready to start tackling this.
Yeah.